So,
Look at the sky. What kind of place is this?
I was just about to ask you that.
Just what my mother told me. I've also studied a little bit on my own, but there's not much. When something is trapped in a soul gem, and then the energy is used for powering an enchantment, the remnants are sent here.
Any soul gem?
Well, I think it's specifically the black ones. I don't know if the Soul Cairn takes just any leftovers.
So does anything live here? Well, besides your mother, probably.
Look at this place. Do you think anything would want to live here? The only things that can survive here are the Ideal Masters, the undead, and the souls themselves. Well, if you want to call that living.
Do you think we'll meet the Ideal Masters?
I don't think anyone's ever met the Ideal Masters. I'm not even sure anyone knows what they look like. They could be underground, flying above us. They might be the ground, I have no idea.
So why are they collecting these souls?
Lots of theories. Some say they feed on them like I feed on blood. Others think they use them as payment to an even higher power, almost like a currency. A very strange currency. Whatever they're doing with them, they've been harvesting for millennia. No telling how many souls are trapped here.
But why would a necromancer want to deal with them?
Look around you. There are some extremely powerful undead here. Even a necromancer as seasoned as my mother would be willing to spend years trying to gain access to them.
Summon them, you mean?
Exactly. It's a lost art. Most necromancers just raise up whatever bodies are nearby. A simple trick, really. Child's play. But bringing something from the Soul Cairn gives you something much more powerful.
So how do the necromancers communicate with them?
Well, that's usually the trick. It's possible to do it through a simple portal. But to finalize the deal, you have to travel here yourself. And most of them never come back.
I see. So, I know it's too late to turn back now, but do you think... Are you sure that your mother has the Elder Scroll?
No, but there's no way she would have left it in Tamriel. She wanted to get it as far away from my father as possible. I can't imagine a better place.
And if she doesn't?
Then we find out where she hid it. If she's still alive. Well, as alive as she was before. Or is now. Or... you know what I mean.
But why not hide it in the Soul Cairn and then return?
Probably to avoid whatever my father would do to her if he could get his hands on her. Or maybe her plan was to come back, but she was stuck here. We won't know until we find her.
I guess so. Come on. Let's do this.
Mother? Mother!
What?
It can't be. Serana?
Is it really you? I can't believe it. How do we get inside? We have to talk.
Serana, what are you doing here? Where's your father?
He doesn't know we're here. I don't have time to explain.
I must have failed. Harkon's found a way to decipher the prophecy, hasn't he?
No, you've got it all wrong. We're here to stop him. To make everything right.
Wait a moment. You've brought a stranger here? Have you lost your mind?
No, you don't...
Hello?
You, come forward. I would speak with you.
Yes?
So how has it come to pass that a vampire hunter is in the company of my daughter? It pains me to think you'd travel with Serana under the guise of her protector in an effort to hunt me down.
I assure you, this is no ruse. I want to keep her safe.
Coming from one who murders vampires as a trade, I find it hard to believe your intentions are noble. Serana has
Now hold on a
sacrificed
minute.
everything to prevent Harkon from completing the prophecy.
I don't think you're being
I would
fair.
have expected her to explain that to you.
That's why I'm here, for the Elder Scroll.
You think I'd have the audacity to place my own daughter in that tomb for the protection of her Elder Scroll alone? The scrolls are merely a means to an end. The key to the tyranny of the sun is Serana herself.
What do you mean?
When I fled Castle Volkihar, I fled with 2 Elder Scrolls. The scroll I presume you found with Serana speaks of Auriel and his arcane weapon, Auriel's bow. The second scroll declares that the blood of Cold Harbor's daughter will blind the eye of the dragon.
So how does Serana fit into all of this?
Like myself, Serana was a human once. We were devout followers of Lord Molig Bal. Tradition dictates the females be offered to Molig Bal on his summoning day. You survive the ordeal. Those that do emerge as a pure-blooded vampire.
Offered?
We call such confluences the Daughters of Cold Harbor.
Cold Harbor?
It's what some call the domain of Molig Bal. His place in oblivion.
I see. So this tyranny of the sun requires Serana's blood?
Now you're beginning to see why I wanted to protect Serana, and why I've kept the other Elder Scroll as far from her as possible.
You're saying Harkon means to kill her?
If Harkon obtained Auriel's bow, and Serana's blood was used to taint the weapon, the tyranny of the sun would be complete. In his eyes, she'd be dying for the good of all vampires.
Well, I would never allow that to happen.
And how exactly do you plan on stopping him?
By killing him.
If you believe that, then you're a bigger fool than I originally suspected. Don't you think I weighed that option before I enacted my plans?
Yes, but you said so yourself. I kill vampires for trade. Serana?
You care nothing for Serana, or our plight. Whether
What?
or not you've become one of us in order to survive the Soul Cairn, you're still a vampire hunter at heart. You're here because we're abominations in your mind. Evil
No.
creatures that need to be destroyed.
Serana believes in me. Why won't you?
Serana? This stranger aligns himself with those that would hunt you down and slay you like an animal. Yet I should entrust you to him.
This stranger has done more for me in the brief time I've known him than you've done in centuries.
How dare you? I gave up everything I cared about to protect you from that fanatic you call a father.
Yes, he's a fanatic. He's changed. But he's still my father. Why can't you understand how that makes me feel?
Oh, Serana, if you'd only open your eyes. The moment your father discovers your role in the prophecy, that he needs your blood, you'll be in terrible danger.
So to protect me, you decided to shut me away from everything I cared about. You never asked me if hiding me in that tomb was the best course of action. You just expected me to follow you blindly. Both of you were obsessed with your own paths. Your motivations might have been different, but in the end, I'm still just a pawn to you too. I want us to be a family again. But I don't know if we can ever have that. Maybe we don't deserve that kind of happiness. Maybe it isn't for us. But we have to stop him, before he goes too far. And to do that, we need the Elder Scroll.
I'm sorry, Serana. I didn't know. I didn't see. I've allowed my hatred of your father to estrange us for too long. Forgive me. If you want the Elder Scroll, it's yours. Your intentions are still somewhat unclear to me, but for Serana's sake, I'll assist you in any way that I can.
Thank you. Do you have the Elder Scroll with you?
Yes. I've kept it safely secured here ever since I was imprisoned. Fortunately, you're in a position to breach the barrier that surrounds these ruins.
Right. So what do we need to do?
You need to locate the tallest of the rocky spires that surround these ruins. At their bases, the barrier's energy is being drawn from unfortunate souls that have been exiled here. Destroy the keepers that are tending them, and it should bring the barrier down.
I see. Well, we'll be back soon.
One more word of warning. There's a dragon that calls itself Durnevere roaming the cairn. Be wary of him. The Ideal Masters have charged him with overseeing the Keepers, and will undoubtedly intervene if you're perceived as a threat.
So, how did you become imprisoned here?
When I entered the Soul Cairn, I had intended to strike a bargain with the Ideal Masters, the custodians of this place.
Right. And what was the bargain?
I requested refuge in the Soul Cairn, and in exchange, I would provide the Ideal Masters the souls that they craved. If I had foreseen the value they placed on my own soul, I would never have come here.
So they tricked you?
The Ideal Masters unleashed their Keepers and sent them to destroy me. Fortunately, I was able to hold them at bay and retreat into these ruins.
And you became trapped?
Unfortunately, yes. Since the Keepers weren't able to claim my soul, they had their minions construct a barrier that I'd never be able to breach.
And you've been imprisoned here for all this time?
Time has very little meaning to me. Consequently, it has little meaning to the Ideal Masters as well. I suppose you could call this the ultimate waiting game, each watching the other to see which will give in.
Fascinating. What can you tell me about the Ideal Masters?
I know very little about them. They're mystic entities that lord over the Soul Cairn, controlling every aspect from its fabric to its appearance.
Do you know what they look like?
Well, some necromancers believe they are the crystalline structures dotting the Soul Cairn. I believe there's more to it than that.
Go on.
I think they transcend what we perceive as a physical form. Perhaps they were once corporeal beings, but they've obviously reached a point where they no longer require a tangible presence.
And the crystals?
Conduits, through which the Ideal Masters speak to their underlings and feed on their victims.
But why would they require sustenance?
The Ideal Masters' weakness is their insatiable hunger for pure souls. It's the reason for the Soul Cairn's existence, and the only leverage a necromancer has when bargaining with them.
And what do the Masters provide in return?
The ability to summon powerful undead guardians, as one would conjure an Atronak or Daedra. However,
I see.
the majority of necromancers that are foolish enough to enter into a bargain with the Ideal Masters wind up here as harvested souls.
Alright, well, as I said, we'll be back shortly.
Be careful, and keep my daughter safe.
Let's kill those keeper things and get back to the prison.
Absolutely. Hello.
That'll teach you.
Alright.
Let's kill those keeper things and get back to the prison.
Yeah, well, that's one down. Yeah, it's us. Oh. That's what it is. Some sort of transportation, teleportation platform thing. Alright. Hey! How you doing? How you doing, big guy? Enjoying the view, huh? Prick. Hi. Seems we're improving a little bit. But I'm afraid it won't be enough to save you. So... get out of here, mist man. Nobody missed you. Go back to the mist, man.
That'll teach you.
Get out of here. Alright.
The barrier should be gone now. Let's head back.
Yeah. So, how are you feeling after talking to your mother?
Relieved, I think. All those
Yeah?
things have been building for a while. You have no idea how long I wanted to say that to her.
So why did you ever agree to her plan?
Look, I loved my father, but when he found that prophecy, that became his life. Everything else, even me and my mother, we just became clutter. I was close with my mother, but she just kept feeding me her opinions of him, and eventually I started believing them.
Sounds like you already didn't like him much.
Like I said, we were never very close. Not a lot of father-daughter bonding, if you know what I mean. But once we threw our lot on the Holy Ball, people just don't think about their families anymore. Power takes precedence, he always said.
And you were caught in the middle.
I was. Honestly, it took me up until now to figure out that my mother was really just as bad as he was. He was obsessed with power. She was obsessed with seeing him fail. It was just so toxic. Maybe I could have seen this coming. We could all be better off now.
You shouldn't blame yourself for their actions, you know?
You don't know what it's like, coming from a family like that. Everything eventually tumbles down to you. Anyway, we should keep moving.
Agreed.
You managed to destroy all 3 keepers? Very impressive.
So, are you able to give us the Elder Scroll now?
Yes. Please follow me. Keep watch for Durnevere. With the prison's barrier down, he's almost certain to investigate.
Well, I've got just a thing for him.
Wait. I hear something.
It's Durnevere. He's here. Defend yourselves.
Where'd you come from?
Get down here. Dornavir. I'm not scared of you. Oh. Come on.
I'm not gonna die like this. That'll teach you.
Alright then.
Forgive my astonishment, but I never thought I'd witness the death of that dragon.
What makes you say that?
Volumes written on Durnevere allege that he can't be slain by normal means. It appears they were mistaken.
Well.
Unless
Yes, go on.
the soul of a dragon is as resilient as its owner's scaly hide. It's possible that your killing blow has merely displaced Durnevere's physical form while he reconstitutes himself.
Oh. And how long will that take?
Minutes, hours, years. I can't even begin to guess. I suggest we don't wait around to find out. Now, let's get you the Elder Scroll and you can be on your way.
Alright. Let's do that. Go on, I'm right behind you. Is that it? Oh.
That's it. That's the last scroll. Come on, let's take it to Dexion.
Now that you've retrieved the Elder Scroll, you should be on your way.
And you? Are you staying here?
I have no choice. As I told you before, I'm a daughter of Cold Harbor. If I return to Tamriel, that increases Harkon's likelihood of bringing the tyranny of the sun to fruition.
Well, we could use your help in Tamriel.
As much as it pains me to send you and Serana back alone, I can't take the risk. Remember that Harkon is not to be trusted. No matter what he promises, he'll deceive you in order to get what he wants. And promise me you'll keep my daughter safe. She's the only thing of value I have left.
I promise.
Come on, let's go home.
Stay your weapons. I would speak with you, Quinarin.
I thought you were dead.
Cursed, not dead. Doomed to exist in this form for eternity. Trapped between Laas and Enoch. Between life and death.
I see. So why are we speaking?
I believe in civility among seasoned warriors, and I find your ear worthy of my words.
Is that so?
My claws have rended the flesh of innumerable foes, but I have never once been felled on the field of battle. I therefore honor name you Quinarin, or Vanquisher in your tongue.
I find you equally worthy, Dornavir.
Your words do me great honor. My desire to speak with you was born from the result of our battle, Quinarin. I merely wish to respectfully ask a favor of you.
What kind of favor?
For countless years I've roamed the Soul Cairn in unintended service to the ideal masters.
Right.
Before this, I roamed the skies above Tamriel. I desire to return there.
So what's stopping you?
I fear that my time here has taken its toll upon me. I share a bond with this dreaded place. If I ventured far from the Soul Cairn, my strength would begin to wane until I was no more.
And how could I help?
I will place my name with you and grant you the right to call my name from Tamriel. Do me this simple honor, and I will fight at your side as your Graze Mazen, your ally, and teach you my Thum.
You just want me to call your name in Tamriel. That's it.
Trivial in your mind, perhaps. For me, it would mean a great deal. I don't require an answer, Quinarin. Simply speak my name to the heavens when you feel the time is right.
So, how did a dragon end up in the Soul Cairn?
There was a time when I called Tamriel my home, but those days have long since passed. The Dova roamed the skies, vying for their small slices of territory that resulted in immense and ultimately fatal battles.
And you were a part of all that?
I was. But unlike some of my brethren, I sought solutions outside the norm in order to maintain my superiority. I began to explore what the Dova call Elok Dilan, the ancient forbidden art that you call necromancy.
And so you sought the Soul Cairn for answers.
The Ideal Masters assured me that my powers would be unmatched, that I could raise legions of the undead. In return, I was to serve them as a keeper until the death of the one who calls herself Valerica.
But they didn't tell you that she was immortal.
I discovered too late that the Ideal Masters favor deception over honor, and had no intention of releasing me from my binding. They had control of my mind, but fortunately they couldn't possess my soul.
So that's why you're free now.
Free? No. I have been here too long, Quanarin. The Soul Cairn has become a part of what I am. I can never fully call Tamriel my home again, or I would surely perish. I only hope that you will allow me the precious moments of time there, through your call.
When the moment is right, Dorvanir, I will call upon you.
The sooner we get the scroll home, the sooner we deal with my father.
Farewell.
I trust your journey was successful?
Yes, I've brought the Elder Scrolls.
I'm sorry, my friend. I can no longer be of use in this matter.
What happened?
It's my fault. In my haste to read the first scroll, I neglected the careful preparation required. I thought I'd be able to allay the after effects, but I was wrong. Now I am paying for it.
That covering on your eyes, are you...
Blind? Yes, I'm afraid so.
Well, can anything be done to help you?
No. It will have to run its course. And there's always the chance I may never recover.
Well, then we're finished.
No, there is another way. The question is, how much are you willing to risk to find Oriel's bow?
No, the question is, how much will I be willing to risk in order for Oriel's bow to not fall into Harkon's hands? And that, the answer to that is everything. So what do I need to do?
I can't guarantee you'd be free from harm. Becoming blind could be the least of your worries.
Never mind that. Just tell me.
Scattered across Tamriel are secluded locations known only as Ancestor Glades. There's one in Skyrim in the Pine Forest. Performing the ritual of the Ancestor Moth within the glade should provide the answers you seek.
Okay, so explain this ritual.
It involves carefully removing the bark from a canticle tree, which will in turn attract ancestor moths to you. Once enough of the moths are following, they'll provide you with the second sight needed to decipher the scrolls.
And how am I supposed to carefully gather the bark?
In keeping with tradition, you must use a specific tool in the Ancestor Glade, an implement known as a draw knife. Every moth priest is taught this ritual, but few ever get the chance to perform it. You should consider yourself fortunate if it works for you.
So do I need to read the scrolls in any particular order?
From what I saw in the vision, the Elder Scroll which foreshadows the defiance of the gods with the blood of mortals is the key to the prophecy.
So, what went wrong exactly?
Deciphering one of the Elder Scrolls is nothing like reading a simple book. There is quite a bit of ritual and concentration required. It can take months or even years to complete a single scroll, and even then, months to recover.
So it's normal for moth priests to go blind?
Sadly, yes. It is the inevitable fate we agree to pursue when reading the Elder Scrolls. It generally does not occur until a moth priest is in his latter years, but in my case, I simply was not preparing myself properly.
I see.
It can take months or even years to complete a single scroll, and even then, months to recover.
So how is a moth? I mean, I know that you're called Moth Priest, but surely that's just a name, right? What's the relation between a moth and an Elder Scroll?
Well, as I'm sure you figured out by now, it's no mere coincidence that we're named Moth Priests. The voice of the Ancestor Moth has always been an integral part of reading the Elder Scrolls.
But moths barely make a sound, let alone speak.
Oh, the moths don't literally read the scrolls, but they maintain a connection to ancient magic that allows the moth priests to decipher them. If you listen closely when you find the glade, you should be able to hear their song, a soft, harmonious trilling. It's through this ancestral chorus that the moths tap into a form of primal augur and become a conduit for deciphering the scrolls.
And how does that help the Moth Priest?
By having the ancestor moths close to the moth priest, they can utilize the conduit and share the moth's augury. Only the most resilient of priests can do it this way. It takes years of practice to interpret the harmony.
Well, how do I even stand a chance then?
You've come this far, and you've found several Elder Scrolls. Whether you believe it or not, the scrolls have a mind of their own. If they did not want you to find them, they would not allow it. Because of this, I strongly believe you were meant to hear the ancestral chorus. Only one way to find out.
I guess so. Farewell, priest. Sorry about them. You know.
Good luck. I hope you find the answers you seek.